Hello, good morning, children. I think you all might have celebrated Diwali very well. At the same time, I think you also must have completed your revision for unit test 3. So anyway, so this is the video, revision video I am sending. Most probably today or tomorrow, you will be receiving it. So try to follow these guidelines and prepare accordingly. So the topic is already known to you. The topic is already written here, syllabus, chapter 3, data handling and exercise 7.1. This is related to congruence of triangles. That is a basic definition about congruence of triangles. So let us see the chapter 3 first. In chapter 3, the main points briefly I will discuss because I cannot make the video for long time. So briefly I will just discuss the outlines of the full chapter 3 and as well as exercise 7.1 also. First of all, chapter 3. So in data handling chapter, the main points are first range and then measures of central tendency. There are three measures of central tendency. They are mean, median and mode. Mean, median and mode. And then diagrammatic representation of data. Diagrammatic representation of data means in this particular class especially you have learnt the bar graph and then double bar graph and to draw the graph and how to read the graph. How to read the graph. Both are known to you. So these two things and then the next topic is probability. So these are the topics, main topics covered in this chapter data handling. So first of all, let us discuss about range. We will have scores or observations of a data. Then range is nothing but range equal to highest score minus lowest score. Lowest score. I'll take one example for this. So let us take the marks of 5 students in particular class. So marks of 5 students in maths class test, let us suppose, out of 10. Class test out of 10. Or of any particular class. Otherwise of class 7 only let us take. Class 7 are as follows. 8, 7, 4, 9, 10. These are the marks. So range equal to as per the formula highest score minus lowest score. So range of marks. Highest is 10 here and lowest is 4 here. So 10 minus 4. This is what? 6. This number, this 6 is the range of marks. This is how we can find out range of any data. Range of any data. Right? The next is mean. Next is mean. And this mean can also be called as average. Sometimes this can also be called as arithmetic mean. So mean of any data is nothing but mean equal to sum of scores or observations upon number of observations. Number of observations. So for example, find the mean of Find the mean of the first 5 whole numbers. The first 5 whole numbers. What are the first 5 whole numbers? First 5 whole numbers are whole numbers start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the first 5 whole numbers. Now mean equal to, add all these and divide by 5. 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 divided by 5. So this is 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 3, 10 plus 0, 10. 10 by 5. This is equal to 2. Therefore, mean equal to 2. This is how we find the mean of any data we can find out. This is how we can find the mean of any data, right? I think it is clear to you all about mean. This is how we find mean of any data. So numbers may be, scores may be larger also. Large scores also may be given in the question. So you have to find out mean or average or arithmetic mean in this way. Then after mean, the next measure of central tendency is a median. The next measure of central tendency is median. How to find the median of any particular data? So here median of the data, that is data may consist, data may have even number of observations or odd number of observations. But here you are concerned in this particular class is to find median for only odd number of observations. So let us consider only odd number of observations case to find out median here, right? And even number of observations also we can find out median, but that particular case is not there in your syllabus here for this year. Right, beta? You learn it in 8th standard. 8th onwards, you learn how to find median for even number of observations also. Right? So let us see here median of odd number of observations. Let the observations be any. You can take heights of students, weights of students, marks of students, or ages of students. You can take the data in any way as you like. So here I am just mentioning only the scores or observations. Observations be 15, 18, 20, 14, 13, and 17, and 25. These are the scores. How many scores are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scores, which is odd number of observations. So here, number of observations equal to 7, odd number. Odd number of observations. Odd number of observations. Now here you have to be very careful to find out median. Before finding out median, first the data should be arranged in any one of the two orders, either in ascending order or in descending order. Right, beta? So let us arrange the data in ascending order. Arranging the data in ascending order. It can be mentioned in this way. AO stands for ascending order. Ascending order of data is smallest to biggest. Ascending order means smallest to biggest. Out of all these scores, smallest one is 13. The next score is 14. That next score is 15. That next score is 17. That next is 18. That next is 20 and 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scores. Now the median is nothing but exactly the middle score or the middle observation. So median of this data Median equal to middle observation means here there are 7 observations, leaving first 3 and last 3. Leaving these three, the middle observation is 17. So that itself will be the median here. The middle score of the data. This is what? The median. This is how we can find out median of any particular data. Any particular data means the data must be containing odd number of observations only, not even number of observations. Of course, that case is not there in your syllabus, as I said. And here, see, you have to remember this also. Median is always one of the scores of the data. Median is always one of the scores of the data. Whereas we discussed mean in the first. Mean cannot be, mean is not always not the score of the data. Mean need not be any one of the scores of the data. We may get it in decimals also. Any other number also we may get. So, and we may get one of the scores also as mean. So there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee. So you should remember that mean need not be one of the scores of the data. It may be or may not be. But whereas median is always one of the scores of the given data only. This 17 is already the score of the data only, observation of the given data only. So median is like this. You can find out median in this way. Next, after median, that next observation, next measure of central tendency is a mode. The third measure of central tendency is mode. So mode, as we discussed earlier, mode is nothing but the most frequently occurred score of the data. Mode is nothing but the most frequently occurred score of the data. So let us take the observations in this way. Let the observations be 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here, there is no particular rule that observations must be even number or odd number. They may be in any way. Even number of observations we may have, odd number of observations also we may have. In both the cases, we can find out mode for that mode of the data, that particular data. So here, let the observations be 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how many observations are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 observations. So if you observe, and here one more thing you have to remember. Here, like median, we need not arrange this data in any one of the two orders, ascending order or descending order. Not necessary at all, right? So as we discussed, mode equal to most frequently occurred score. Most frequently occurred score. This is what mode. So here in this data, if you observe here, 2 is repeated 2 times, and 1 is also repeated 2 times, and no other number is repeated. So here there will be two modes. There will be two modes, and you also have to remember. You have to observe one thing. There may be more than one mode also. If there is only one mode in the data is called as the unimodal data. Of course, this is not there in your book, but this is for as an additional information I am discussing with you. So there are two modes here. Both the numbers are can be considered as mode only here. So mode equal to 1 and 2 also, since they repeated 2 times each. So this type of data is called bimodal data. Bimodal data. And if there is three modes, if there are three modes in the data, that means three numbers or observations or scores repeated equal number of times. In that case, we call the data as trimodal data. Like that, we can call the data based on the number of modes. So here, mode is not only just one. Mode is one as well as two also, because both the scores or observations are repeated 2 clear to you all. You will not find any kind of difficulty. But only the thing is, you have to practice properly, practice thoroughly. Then definitely you feel free of tension, right? You will come to understand everything when you prepare well. If you don't prepare well, you cannot understand anything. So preparation and practice is very important, right? So the next topic is diagrammatic representation of data. This diagrammatic representation of data is nothing but bar graph and double bar graph. Already I told you how to draw the bar graph and how to draw the double bar graph also. But here it is very important to remember that if the scale is normal scale, then it need not be mentioned. But if the scale is different from normal scale, then it is very, very important to mention the scale on the graph paper in the topmost right hand side corner. Topmost right hand side corner, beta, right? And it carries marks also. If you don't mention the scale in your answer sheet, that is graph sheet, you may lose some half mark to 1 mark based on the total number of marks allotted for that particular question. So I'm once again repeating, I'm once again reminding you all that scale is very, very important to mention on the graph paper in the topmost right hand side corner. If the scale is different from normal scale, if the scale is normal, that means 1 centimeter equal to 1 unit, then no need to mention it. But if it is different from normal scale, then definitely it is very, very important to mention it, right? And while drawing bar graph, you have to leave equal space and you have to take equal space on x-axis for each rectangle. Bar graph means so many rectangles you will find on the graph paper to show the data on the graph paper, right? So this is how we draw the bar graph. And on y-axis we will take frequency. That will also be given in the question, right, beta? So this is how we mention, this is how we find, we draw the bar graph. Then double bar graph also in the same way. You all know it very well how to draw it. And here, one more thing. Sometimes instead of drawing the graph, you may be asked to read the graph and you may be asked to answer some questions. So that is also already known to you. For example, there is one question given to us in the book. There are 2-3 questions given to read the graph and answer the following questions. To read the graph and answer the following questions. See, page number exercise 3.3 first question. So there is one graph given, already bar graph is given. In that bar graph, the bar graph shows that pet animals, dogs, cats, rabbits, and hamsters, and others. These are taken along x-axis. And the students, number of students who like these animals or who keep one of these animals in their house as their pet animal is mentioned here along with it. So reading this graph, they have to answer the following questions. So the questions are like which is the most popular pet? Here, which is the most popular pet? How to find it out? To find out to answer that question, see in the graph here, there will be 10. There are 10 students who are keeping cats in their house as their pet animal. That is the reason here this maximum number of students are keeping the cats only in their house as their pet animal. That is the reason the answer for this question is cat, which is the most popular pet, means cat or cat simply. Next second bit, how many students have dog as their pet animal? So seeing the graph, dogs in 8 students' houses, they are keeping dogs as their pet animal. As their pet animal. So here, how many students have dog as pet means 10 students, 8 students. Like this, you have to read the graph and answer the given question. Right, beta? This is related to graph. And here, exercise 3.2, you see, already I told you true or false. Question number 5, tell whether statement is true or false. The mode is always one of the numbers in a data. Yes, that is correct. Mode is always one of the scores or observations of the given data. So this statement is true. And second statement, the mean is one of the numbers in a data. As I told you, this is not compulsory to happen. It may or may not be. That's the reason we don't write true. So we write this statement as false statement. So because it need not happen always, it may not happen always. It may happen sometimes, it may not happen sometimes. Then we cannot generalize. That's the reason this statement is false statement. Then the median is always one of the numbers in a data. This is also true, 100% true. In case of odd number of observations, if the number of observations is even, then this statement is not true. In case of odd number of observations, this statement is always true. That is the reason this statement is true. And the fourth bit, the data 6, 4, 3, 8, 9, 12, 13, 9 has mean 9. You find out mean of all these scores. To how to find out mean, add all the scores or observations and divide by the number of observations. If you get the answer as 9, this statement is true. Otherwise, it is false. Right, beta? Next to bar graph, the next topic is probability. Probability, formula should be written. Probability, already I told you, probability means it is the chance of happening. Chance of happening anything. So probability equal to favorable number of outcomes upon total number of outcomes. Favorable number of outcomes upon total number of outcomes. Here outcome means the result, output. So that is what outcome means. Whatever is the number of outcomes which are favorable to the event. Event means event or incident. Upon total number of outcomes. Total number of chances. Total number of chances which may happen. So suppose a coin is tossed. As you all know very well, before starting a cricket match, a coin will be tossed. So both the captains will be called and they will choose their own choice. Then coin will be tossed. There are two outcomes, possible outcomes when a coin is tossed. They are head and tail. So if captain of team A chooses head, then captain of team B should choose tail only. So the probability of getting head when a coin is tossed is 1 by 2. Is 1 by 2. Only one chance. When a coin is tossed once, there are two chances totally. And getting head is only once. Only one time we can see head. Otherwise, we may see tail the second time. So that is the reason probability of tossing a coin, probability of getting head in tossing of a coin is always 1 by 2. Similarly, probability of getting a tail in tossing of a coin is also 1 by 2 only. Similarly, you all will play this snake and ladder game, I think. In that snake and ladder game, you will use die, which will have 6 faces. On each face, there will be number of dots. On one face, there will be only one dot. On two faces, there will be two dots. On another face, there will be three dots. On another face, there will be four dots. Like this, up to 6 dots will be there. One dot on one face, two dots on another face, like that, 6 dots on one particular face. So here, probability of getting one dot is 1 by 6. There are total number of chances is 6. Suppose here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose these numbers are marked or written on each face of a die. There are 6 faces in a die. So the probability of getting a number 1, probability of getting a number 1 marked on the face of a die. Very simple, right? So I think I made it clear to all. So now it is your part. You have to revise thoroughly and try to get full marks. From my side, I request you all to get full marks. If you keep full marks target, then you may reach more than 15. You may reach up to 15, right, beta? So then after this data handling chapter, congruence of triangles. 7.1 exercise is only there in the syllabus. And here, congruence of triangles, the basic definition is related to exercise 7.1 only, not so much, right? So here, congruence means, as I told you, equal. Equal. Suppose we talk about this word congruence, especially about line segments, about angles, about triangles, up to triangles. So if we say that two line segments are equal in length, then we can say that those two line segments are congruent to each other. And in the same way, if we say that two line segments AB and CD are congruent to each other, then they are equal in length. This is what the meaning of this word congruence. In the same way, congruence of angles. If we say that two angles are equal, then we say that those two triangles are congruent. Similarly, if we say that two triangles are congruent to each other, they will be equal to each other. And the basic definition of this word, literal meaning of this word congruence is two things will be, if two things are exactly same in both shape and size, then we say that those two things are congruent to each other. Those two things are congruent to each other. This is how we talk about congruence in case of line segments, angles, and triangles. Okay. So here, criterion of congruence is not there in your syllabus right now for unit test 3. That is from 7.2 onwards. So up to 7.1 only you have to study, right? So here, see the exercise 7.1, complete the following statements. Two line segments are congruent if they have same length. And B, among two congruent angles, one has a measure of 70 degrees. The measure of the other angle is again the same, that is 70 degrees only. And third one, when we write angle A equal to angle B, we write like this. But what does this mean actually? Angle A means measure of angle A. Measure of angle A equal to measure of angle B. And we simply write this as m of angle A equal to m of angle B. M stands for measure of. Measure of angle A equal to measure of angle B. Then second, give any two real life examples for congruent shapes. I told you already, different examples we discussed already in the class. So we can give your own examples also for this. Then third one, if triangle ABC is congruent to triangle FED under the correspondence, ABC is congruent to FED. Write all the corresponding parts of the triangles. There will be 6 pairs of corresponding parts in two triangles, congruent triangles, right? 3 pairs of angles, 3 pairs of sides. So you can write whichever is required or whichever is needed for us. You can write any one or more than one also out of those 6 pairs. And fourth question also in the same way. This is what about congruence of triangles, congruence of line segments as far as the basic concept is concerned, up to 7.1 only. Now I think it may be clear to all about the full portion I revised. So you have to complete revision and you have to prepare well for exam. You have to answer the exam very well. And I expect full marks from all of you. And minimum mark also it must be 15 at least, I feel, right? So I think it may not be difficult to get 15 marks, to score 15 marks in your exam for everybody, right? Okay, thank you, beta. Okay, thank you very much.